There, let's talk Man United now. Alejandro Garnacho's future there remains uncertain. But Ruben Amorim says he'll carry on picking him out of respect for their tour of Malaysia and Hong Kong. Well, United chose not to respond to an article last week which claimed that Amorim has told Garnacho to find a new club.
We want to be competitive. I don't know which part are going to play, if they are playing together. For example, Amad and Garnacho in the last game play second half together. So I'm trying to balance the team, but they will play. If they are fit, they will play. And we will have the maximum respect for everybody here and for our fans. So we are going to address that, and I will think about that when I'm going to choose the players to play.
Well, Garnacho voiced his frustration at being benched for the Europa League final defeat. Amad Diallo says he hopes his teammate stays, but the cameras lingered on Amorim when Ahmed was asked about Garnacho's future. Look at this.
Obviously, you're very close with Alejandro. Are you hopeful that he could end up staying at the club, or do you not know?
Alejandro is a really good player, and we need a good player in the team. So obviously, I know Garna really well, so I hope to have Garna next season. So it's not really a big issue for the team, and everything is good now, I think.
Wow. Now, Amorim admits it was tough for his team to focus during their 1-0 loss to the ASEAN All-Stars. He says everyone at the club just wants the season to be over, but he's committed to improving results. But there's still a game left. United face Hong Kong tomorrow.
It's a moment that is hard for us, and we want to finish the season, but at the same time we want to give something to the fans. Of course, it's hard to play these games. We have one tour that we are traveling. We don't have time to adapt. Sometimes we are here. We don't have so much time to have contact with the fans to give everything that they deserve. But I think it's clear. We cannot hide that it's really tough in this moment for us not to close the season. But again, if there are one thing that is really important in this club, is that we need to face our fans in this moment, and we need to give something to our fans around the world. We want to do that, but sometimes it's really hard for us. Amad is trying to explain, but we were not really focused in the last game, and everybody can feel it. But in that moment, I understand the fans, I understand the players, and you also understand us that we want to give something to the fans, but it's hard in this moment. We just want to turn the page and to improve the next season.
And Chelsea getting busy. What else have they been up to?
Well, they are in talks with Jadon Sancho's representatives about a new contract for the Manchester United winger. Now, everybody knows he moved last deadline day from United to Chelsea. Chelsea now have a £25 million obligation to sign Sancho. But there is also a £5 million penalty clause which they can pay to get out of that obligation. So they don't have to sign him permanently. They can pay that £5 million and get out of that obligation. Now, the issue is that I think Chelsea want him to stay, but if he is to stay, his contract would have to fit into the wage structure at the club. And it's been well reported that he's got a lucrative contract at Manchester United. I think he's still got a year left on that contract. There's an option for a further year as well. So I think, as so often happens in these cases, it has a lot to do with the numbers as well. Chelsea want him to stay, but I'm not sure he will stay because his representatives would have to agree new contract terms with Chelsea for that to happen.
Fascinating. Kaveh Solokol, our chief reporter.
Right, a big breaking transfer news to bring you now involving Liam Delap. Our chief reporter, Kaveh Solokol, joins me now. Who's won the race? I think this is all over, is it, or not?
Well,
not quite yet.
I think Chelsea are close to agreeing a deal to sign Liam Delap. We were talking yesterday about the fact that Chelsea were going to move very, very quickly after the final last night to sign a striker. And we'd kind of been told that the striker they were going to sign first was going to be Liam Delap. But I think they didn't really want the news to come out because they didn't want to put off the players who were playing in the final last night. But the important thing, I think, for Liam Delap is that Chelsea are playing in the Champions League. Also, he's 22. Chelsea are the youngest squad in the Premier League. They are developing, and I think he feels that it's the perfect place for him to move to. And also, he's worked previously with Enzo Maresca at Manchester City, also the co-recruitment director at Chelsea, Joe Shields, knows him well as well. So I always had a feeling that if Chelsea got into the Champions League, which they did by beating Nottingham Forest on Sunday, then they had a very, very good chance of signing Liam Delap. Interesting
that the transfer window's open, isn't it? Very shortly, this tiny little window we've got from the 1st to the 10th. So we're going to see clubs do early business, you think?
Yeah, I mean, in a way, if you don't like transfers, I'm sorry, bad news, because usually the season ends and everyone has a little bit of time off and people watch cricket or golf or other sports. But this time round, the season has only just finished, and on Sunday, this new special FIFA-mandated mini transfer window is going to open up for 10 days, which was supposed to be for clubs who are playing in the Club World Cup. But all other clubs in England, apart from Manchester City and Chelsea, can use that window as well. Now, I know for a fact Chelsea are taking the Club World Cup very, very seriously.
Yep.
They want to have new signings to sort of show off when they go to the United States next month. So I think Chelsea will be very busy. But Liam Delap, Chelsea need a striker. But Liam Delap, the question is, will they sign just one striker or will they sign more strikers this summer as well? Because they've worked with players like Hugo Ekitike, Victor Gyökeres at Sporting, Benjamin Sesko at Leipzig as well. I think players would have to go for Chelsea to bring more players in. But I was just off the phone to someone who told me that Chelsea are going to be busy again this summer. So all these people who were criticising Chelsea last summer, there were a lot of people having fun at Chelsea's expense, saying they were throwing money around. They had a squad of 50 players.
43, I think.
43 players or whatever it was.
He's counting.
Well, it seems like there was method to Chelsea's madness, if you want to call it madness. But I think, interestingly enough, in the Premier League, they only used 26 players. So, yes, they did have 43 players, but a lot of them moved out, were sold, went out on loan. So I think they're sort of pleased with this season, but they're not getting carried away. They know that the ultimate aim for Chelsea is not to be winning, with all due respect, the Europa Conference League. They want to aim high. They want to win the title. They want to win the Champions League. And I think they feel that Liam Delap is somebody who will help them get where they want to go. Just finally, quite cheap though, right? So you'd think, you said that they might buy another striker. That's not the biggest price in the world, is it? No, I mean, £30 million for a 22-year-old who has scored 12 times in the Premier League, in a side that were relegated. You would have to say that is very good value for money, but obviously he had this release clause in his contract when he moved from Manchester City to Ipswich. I think he had to sort of have the safety net of, if Ipswich went down, he didn't want to really be playing in the Championship for at least one more season. He wanted to make sure that he could move to another Premier League club. So it shows you that it's very clever. Whoever drew up his contract did a very, very good job, because he's managed to get this move to another Premier League club who are going to be in the Champions League. It looks like
Manchester United's transfer window has taken unexpected turns as the first summer window opens on June 1, 2025, with Alejandro Garnacho's future at Old Trafford shifting dramatically. Initially told by manager Ruben Amorim to find a new club after a fallout following the Europa League final loss to Tottenham on May 21, Garnacho was linked with moves to Bayer Leverkusen, AC Milan, and Napoli, with United reportedly willing to accept offers around £38 to £50 million. However, after playing 45 minutes in a postseason friendly against ASEAN All-Stars on May 29, sources indicate Amorim has softened his stance, deciding to retain the 20-year-old Argentine winger for the upcoming season. This U-turn comes as United aim to maintain depth on the left flank, especially with Matheus Cunha's £60.5 million arrival from Wolves confirmed, potentially allowing Garnacho to fight for his place in a revamped squad. In a significant blow to United's striker search, Liam Delap has opted to join Chelsea instead, despite United's earlier agreement to meet his £30 million release clause. The 22-year-old Ipswich Town forward, who scored 12 goals in the 2024-25 Premier League season, was a prime target for Amorim to bolster the attack. But Chelsea's Champions League qualification and the influence of their co-director of recruitment Joe Shields swayed Delap's decision. This development forces United to pivot to alternative targets, with names like Victor Osimhen and Brentford's Brian Mbeumo now circulating as potential options. The loss of Delap, reported on May 30th, underscores the challenges United face in the transfer market without European football. Despite their recent signing of Cunha to replace the outgoing Garnacho, whose retention now adds a new layer of complexity to their attacking strategy. Meanwhile, Jadon Sancho's future remains uncertain after his loan spell at Chelsea, where he played a key role in their 4-1 UEFA Conference League final win over Real Betis on May 28. United had hoped to secure a £25 million permanent transfer, but reports on May 30th indicate Chelsea are leaning against meeting the asking price, despite Sancho's 2 assists in the final, including one for Cole Palmer. With Antony also impressing on loan at Betis, United face decisions on both wingers, as Amorim looks to streamline the squad. The potential return of Sancho, combined with Garnacho's unexpected stay and Delap's rejection, highlights a turbulent start to United's summer, with the club now under pressure to balance their finances and squad dynamics ahead of a crucial season focused solely on domestic competitions.